As we're now ending one year and beginning another, the information that I'm going to provide is going to move more in the direction of how do you actually start planning. Whatever happened from October, November, and December is behind us, and on January 2nd at 12:01 a.m., the entire national psyche shifts from how much can I eat to, oh my goodness, what have I done to myself, how do I change it? And we're now going into that mode. Whatever you did, you did. You probably did better than you usually would, but let's take a look at what we can do in order to move forward. And since we're coming out of the busiest shopping season of the year, I figured the first thing that I would do is take a look at something we can all relate to, and that's shopping. I imagine if you are like probably 99% of the people in the country, you spent a few moments or so at either a shopping mall or some sort of store, or even doing it online, buying all sorts of stuff. Now, how does that apply to what it's like to be successful for this coming year? Well, the concept of buying goes through three questions. Whatever you bought, whether you were buying a little thing for yourself or gifts for your relatives back east, or even just grocery shopping, which is where this is really going to start to tie in, you always ask yourself three questions before you make a purchase. We always do this. They go by very, very quickly, but we do ask these questions. And the three questions are basically in order. I want you to stop and think about this. The first question you usually ask of yourself when you see something, and you've stopped to actually take a look at it, you go, do I want that? Now, if the answer to that is no, you're not going to move forward, because people always buy what they want, not necessarily what they need. So if you see something and for whatever reason you go, yeah, I really want that, you're going to then go into the next two questions. If you say no, the deal is over. You're not going to move forward. So the second question that we ask ourselves is, after we take a look at the price, is it worth it? If the answer to is it worth it is no, we won't go forward. Now, sometimes we'll jack up the value in our head to say, well, of course it's worth it. I need to have this thing. But if the answer is no, and we can't justify making it yes, we don't go forward. And then finally, the third question we ask ourselves is, can I afford it? Do I want it? Is it worth it? Can I afford it? If the answer to all three of those is not yes, we don't make the purchase. Now, how does that apply when it comes to moving forward on our program for this year? We're going to start to launch into some goal-setting techniques and how to deal with decisions and things like that. But in the meantime, when you see something that you are considering eating, the first question to ask yourself is, do I want it? Well, that's usually not a problem for us. The answer for that is almost always yes. So we go from question number one to, do I want it? Yeah, I do. The second question is it worth it? Is it worth the number of calories or points or activity that I'm going to have to go through in order to consume that and feel good about myself? You might say yes. I mean, sure, sometimes there are times when you really want to have something and you go, yeah, it's worth it, because I don't do it all the time. In the same way that it's worth going on a vacation, but you can't afford to do it all the time. Which leads to the third question is, can I afford it? If I plan for it, if I make provisions so that I can have it, then it's going to work out okay. So as you go through this year, and for that matter, any other year, ask yourself when it comes to food, do I want it? If the answer to that is yes, the next question is it worth the price I'm going to pay for it? Sometimes, even if it's a very caloric food, you'll say, yeah, it's worth it. I really want to have one. It's a special occasion or whatever it might be. And then the third one is, can you afford it? Are you willing to pay for it in whatever level that's going to take in order to have it? If the answer to all three of those is yes, go for it. And don't do it with guilt and shame. Just have yourself a good time. If the answer to any one of those is no, take about 10 minutes, pause, and figure out what you're going to do that will actually fit those three questions. That's it for this. Watch for more videos coming up soon. And as always, make sure to post on the Facebook group or through the email list, or be sure to get the text that I'm sending on a regular basis. Treat yourself special. We'll see less of you pretty soon.